Welcome to Dad Talk Podcast. This is our new YouTube channel. We're trying something new. You could find us on Facebook Live, Instagram, and then also streaming live on anchor.fm. So sit back and relax, whether you're listening in your car or watching, whether you're at home or in the office. Welcome to Dad Talk Podcast. Enjoy. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is your host, James R. Sims of Sims Books Publishing and Dad Talk Podcast. So tonight, we do the topic for tonight's show is suffering in silence. We know far too well so many people that have taken their lives, and not really understanding what was going on in their life. So we want to make sure that we as a family reach out, we as a community figure out what's going on. And the only way that we can figure that out is tapping in. Tapping in, being present, and making sure that those who are out there that may be suffering, check on them. You never know who may be suffering. Just talk. And a topic that, we don't normally talk about because, for one, it may be some stigma to it. Folks want to feel like, oh, I'm not crazy. So I don't want people to think that I'm crazy. So why in the world would I talk about, what's going on with me? So they allow that stigma to really affect them in reaching out and talking to, people about it. So we want to make sure that we have this conversation because it's definitely needed. This year, there's been so many people that have actually passed away because they have been dealing with some things that they had not shared with other people. I just got a call, last week, an ex-supervisor of mine passed away. He actually, killed himself. And, you sit back and when you hear that, you're like, wow, what was going on with this guy? Seemingly from the outside, when you're looking from the outside in, you're like, man, he looked like he had it all, wife, kids, house, great job. And it just seems like, man, that man has it all. So why in the world would he, off himself? Why would he go to that extent? But you just never know what people are battling with on a day-to-day basis. They're battling with something so heavy that, for one, they may not want to talk about it. And for two, they may not even have anyone to actually talk about it. So let's look at the other side of the coin where there's someone that's suffering, right? They're going through something, but there's no support. So the reason why I say there's no support is because they may feel that they'll go to a loved one, they'll go to someone, a friend, a coworker, whatever, and maybe they might just brush it off as, oh, you tripping, you tripping, So what happens is that they keep that in. They don't even really want to embarrass themselves and go ahead and talk to someone because of that stigma saying, oh, you crazy, So they hold it in. And also, here's the other side of the coin. What about those who are strong, right? You look at all of these folks that are in your life and you're like, man, they strong, they got it going on. They don't have no problems. The strongest ones normally are the ones that really deal with so much different stuff. They deal with so much stuff and they're holding it together. And there's really no one that they can go to and say, hey, I'm going through something. Could you help me out? When everyone tends to go to them for help all the time, So what happens with those type of people that are so strong that everyone comes to them? Everyone comes to them for advice. Everyone comes to them for resources and help. Everyone comes to them for advice. Everyone comes to them for money, So they always, coming to them. But those people don't have an outlet. a lot of times, and you may be one of those people that may not have that outlet. You're like, man, if they only knew, but who would care to ask the question, are you okay? What's going on with you? Rap to me for a little bit. I'm just checking on you. I'm not getting in your business. I'm just checking on you just to see that you are fine. Then it may help people let their guards down and be like, wow, okay, well, this is what's going on. And if you are a true friend, then you won't come back at them and be like, and taking it the wrong way and taking it somewhere else, taking that bone and running and telling people about what you guys have shared, together and was speaking about on something that was personal to you, So to open up and to allow that person to, be that person to help you out, opening up is very hard. So what happens in the situation where you have a lot of folks nowadays that are just suffering, right? You don't find that out until the end, the last moment that you find out that basically they are going through something. And 9 times out of 10, the only way that you do find out is that if they hurt themselves or if they take themselves out of here, then it's too late. So I believe that to be preventative is to really talk, really take your time and check on people. Go to people and say, you know what? I know the way of this world. The weight of this world, too, can be on so many of our shoulders. How are you doing today? How are you holding up? Because there's so much stuff going on. And I know for myself, I'm trying to swim and not trying to drown in this world. It's okay that we can have that honest, conversation with each other. They say that men are 3 times, we actually in that predicament of really, affecting and killing ourselves and going through so much different stuff other than females. 3 times more, in a sense, is because of that macho-ness. Nah, man, you can't see me sweat. I ain't going to talk to nobody. Who am I going to talk to? Because you don't want to seem vulnerable and you don't want to seem like you soft because you have a problem that you can't deal with. We all are human. We have problems that we can't deal with that we're going to need some help, some outside help. Don't you know that for some people, just that hi, hello, how you doing could be something that could save that person's life at the end of the day because they hadn't heard that at all, at all. And I'll go on to say something even personal that I've heard and dealt with in my life that my mom shared with me is that she had never heard her mother say that she loved her ever in her life. Think about that. You go through your whole life and the one that birthed you, the one that brought you into this world had never taken the time to say, I love you. Now, growing up through the 60s, you can imagine what it is for a dark-skinned woman growing up during the 60s. She's hated by some folks in her family, a lot of folks in the community, a lot of folks in the world, and having to deal with this colorism. And then just to go out here in this world and to be, under that type of, pressure, and then go home where home should be the place of peace, right? You should be able to go home and be able to just, okay, I found my solitude, I'm at peace. But then go home and still have to deal with colorism, still have to deal with not being told, I love you, until the end of my grandmother's day, where she almost said it. And my mom said that she acknowledged that it was almost there. But to go through life not being appreciated in that way, not being told in that way, could really do harm to someone, And then you have that adverse effect. And sometimes it can be positive, sometimes it can be negative. My mom always told us, tell your brother and your sister you love them. And we little kids be like, man, what are you talking about? And it meant something to her is because it was so important for her to even hear it for herself, that she wanted us to grow up and be those type of young children to adolescents to adults, to be able to be comfortable in your skin to say, hey, I love you. How you doing? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I'm checking on you, making sure that you understood one thing. My mom always told me is that the one thing that is like music to someone's ears is them hearing their name. So if you can remember someone's name and you can actually say their name, that is probably, the best thing to someone's ears is that someone remembers their name and can say their name, and call them by their name. So it's important. So we miss the signs a lot of times, because life happens, right? So we're just living life. So we tend to miss those signs that this person over here is suffering, because you know why? We also have our own bags of suffering, right? We got a whole lot going on. We got a whole lot on our plate. So we're like, I don't know about helping that person because I'm already swamped. I got enough on my plate as it is to try to help someone else out. But you have to understand that it goes in a circle. Once you give, you shall receive. And at the same time, you have to have that mindset that, hey, if I help this person out, and that's saying that, and I'm not coming from a standpoint of, oh, we all know it all. We're know it all, so we can just help you. Nah, it's coming from a pure place where it's like, look, I may not know your struggle. I may know a little bit of your struggle, but hey, let me help you in a way. Just me talking to you can help you. Just me asking how was your day could probably lighten the load. And I may not be able to give you money. I may not be able to give you things, but I can be here as a listening ear. And also, you just never know what happens when you open up those lines of communication, because someone could be going through something that you may have gone through and can give them that extra push so they can go through, that situation and to survive that situation. So you may be able to give them something, some words of advice, something that you and them have in common, and that commonality can be something that pushes them further along. We all have something that we suffer with deep down inside, whether it's an insecurity, whether it's a health problem, whether it's a form of lack, depression. I think for a lot of us, we all will go through that form of depression whenever we lose someone that's close to us. That's always going to be that point, that when we lose someone close to us, we will go into some sort of depression. Some of us may stay in that depression. We may wear a face where we're like, okay, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. But deep down inside, it's eating you alive. And it's okay to really talk to people and to really say, you know what, I'm going through it. I just need some help. I need some time to get through it. It's okay to, reach out to folks. Now, I would say, like I said, the last 5 years has been crazy. A lot of folks that I've known that have actually taken their life, actually have died because of some illness that they've had. And they really did not take the time some of them didn't really take the time to reach out and talk to people about it. As I said earlier, one of my ex-supervisors, last week just heard that he passed away, that he killed himself. So I'm wondering, like, wow, what's going on? I think I saw the signs. He used to be in pain a whole lot of times. Every time I saw him, I was like, man, you all right, man? You good? And he's like, man, just in pain. And he had the stress of the job, the stress of life, so many different things. But from the outside looking in, you say, oh man, he's married, he has a kid, he has a nice home, he has so many different things going for him. He should be okay. But that's just looking at it the wrong way, just assuming that he's going to be fine. But it wasn't fine. He actually took his life. So I bring this up is because there's a lot of other folks that have lost their lives too, because of closed mouths. That's your boy, that's your girl, we're friends or whatever, but you forget to check them out. Forget to check up on them and say, you know what? I'm not trying to get in your business, but dude, I just want to know that you're fine. I want to know that you're okay. And then for those who are actually suffering in silence, have something that's on their heart, something that they're going through right now that they can't get out. I want to be the first one to say, man, reach out, talk to somebody. Not everyone's going to ridicule you. Not everyone's going to look down on you and say, oh man, you crazy. This and that. Not everyone's going to do that. But what you'll have to do is that you're going to have to, excuse me, wet head from running, but you're going to have to reach out. Here's another thing that a lot of folks deal with is self-esteem. Something that they're going through that has, whether it's somebody that knocked them down and made them feel inferior, whether it's something that they don't like about themselves that's affecting their self-esteem, affecting them in a way that maybe they don't really even want to be here. They're not taking care of themselves like they used to. They're being self-conscious, and things are really, getting to them. Or they value other people's opinions over their own. And they may not even have an opinion. They may be just going through life, just flying by the seat of their pants, and they really let other things affect them. And, whether it's like social media, whether they feel inadequate because they're like, man, such and such got this, such and such got that. And I'm trying to get to that point, but I can't get there, and they feeling bad about themselves. So they're suffering. Maybe it's financially, that they're working this job and the money's just not getting it. And it's like, man, I'm working so hard. I'm tired when I get home and the money is just not worth it. I don't have the peace. I don't have what I need in my life, but I'm just pushing through it. I'm going through it. You have relationship woes. You have friendship woes. You have all of these different things that people are dealing with that they can't let go. It's holding them down. It has made them a prisoner of their own existence, right? The worst part about it is that some people walk around, they're free, but they're in the jail. They're in the mental jail, right? So mentally, they are in prison. They limit themselves to big crowds. They limit themselves to talking to people or whatever. They just dealing with it, all on their own, all on their own. And some folks just feel that way. Some folks are bred that way, that, hey, I ain't going to talk about it to nobody. I'm just going to deal with it. That's not healthy. If you're sitting there and you're like, okay, I'm just going to deal with it and just let it soak, and then keep going through the same problem, keep letting it fester, it's going to eat away at you. What you really need is that you really need some help, some genuine help, some folks that you can reach out to and be like, look, man, help me because I'm going through this, And on the other end, folks got to use these, right? Listen and watch. Watch your folks. See what's going on with them. If things have changed, if things have changed and they're not doing the same things that they used to do, a red flag should go off. Watch them and say, and don't make it be the situation where you're like, man, I just talked to him yesterday. Man, I just talked to him last week, and now they're gone. because you neglected to say, okay, you know what? I just want to check on them and I want to make sure that we can have a heart to heart conversation and let it all out, because most folks have so much pride that they're not going to just let it all out. But we're going to have to work through that somehow, some way. So many people that I've known this year alone that have taken their lives, this year alone that are not actually living. You're alive, but what is the quality of life that you have? You can say, yes, I'm alive, I'm breathing, but their quality of life is in the dumps. They're dealing with something that is so heavy that they don't feel that they can make do with it, they can get over it, and they don't feel that there's no outside help. So they feel hopeless. They're in a place where they feel hopeless, and then here comes the worst thing possible, whether it's getting into drinking, whether it's getting into smoking, whether it's actually taking their life in the end, whether it's abusing themselves to the point where there's no coming back when you cross over, when you die. Also, it's how they feel about themselves. You have folks out here that are faking it until they make it, or just fake it 24/7. They could be hurting, and they'll just be like wearing a smile on their face and acting like there's no problem. But we have to get in tune with those type of people. Some people like that. We all know people like that. We have to take our pride out of it. Oh, I don't want to bother that person because they're going to get mad that in their business. You tell them right away, I'm not trying to get in your business at all. I just want to make sure that you are okay. That's it. And if you feel like you need to talk to someone, here's my number. My number, call me. Give me a call and we can talk about whatever it is to kind of lighten the load. And they may come around. You just never know. They may come around. And when you find that commonality, like I said again, is that we all have dealt with some loss. So if the loss is still sitting heavy on your mind, and people are cruel sometimes. They may tell you, oh, that happened 20 years ago. It still don't negate the point that there's a hurt there, that there's a problem there and a hurt that you have not gotten over. You have not been able to deal with correctly. So you have to understand that hurt is hurt. It's going to be there. But how you are going to live your life from that point on really matters in how you deal with it and if you have an outlet to deal with it, because most people, like I said, if they lose someone, they mostly all of them go into depression. And most people handle things differently. Not everyone handles the same thing the same way. But you still got to look out for them. Still got to say, man, just checking on you. I want to see what's going on. So let's get into some causes of why folks really suffer in silence. I mentioned number one, they don't have nobody to talk to. Whether they don't have any friends or whether the friends that they do have are not the folks that they really want to talk to about it, because the moment that they let their friends know, here comes the clowning. They're going to clown them and say, oh, you crazy. Oh, man, you need to tough it out. That's where we as men have a problem with toughing it out. We think we got to be hard all the time and we can't talk to nobody about it. And yet that thing is eating us up inside. That's for one. Nobody to talk to and no feeling of being able to reach out to somebody. Number two, you really don't have nobody to talk to. You may be a loner and don't really have a friend. You like, man, those associates, but they ain't really my friend. Three, not knowing where to begin when you're suffering in silence. You don't know where to begin. You got so much stuff going on. You have no clue where to begin. Who am I going to talk to? How do I even get to the point of even just building up enough courage to say, man, this happened to me. I'm going through this particular situation. How do I even muster up the courage to do it? 4, are they going to look at you like you're crazy? Your self worth, your self esteem is not going to let you, your pride is not going to let you jump out there and, jump out the window per se and tell folks, hey, so it all goes back to how you are feeling about yourself. Can I look at myself and can I fix this problem? And number 5, the feeling that it can't be fixed. When you dig yourself so far into a hole and you feel like, man, it just can't be fixed. Nobody's going to understand. It cannot be fixed. Then that's when we got a problem. That's when you're just going to rot away. You're just going to steady just go down that path, and feel like nobody can help, But for those that are going through something, first step is to acknowledge it, right? Acknowledge that there's a problem, because sometimes we live in a life where dysfunction is like second nature, and we don't even see it that it's dysfunctional. I remember at a time where somebody could be another block over, another neighborhood over. Somebody could be cross town in another city. If I don't know you, and if I didn't grow up with you, and if I didn't know you, we beefing. I got a problem with you just off jump. I don't have to know you. I just don't like you because you're not from where I'm from. Or I just don't like you because I don't know you. We're gonna keep it that way. That is a dysfunction, because then you put yourself in a little old box and there's a greater world out here. The world is big, and you should be able to talk to anyone that you want to talk to. It shouldn't be a threat that, if I open up my mouth and say, hey, how you doing, then I'm going to get shot. I open up my mouth, hey, how you doing, somebody want to fight me. So we have to kind of elevate ourselves past that dysfunction. And another dysfunction is that just being a person in solitude. I'm just going to hang by myself, do everything by myself, don't worry about other people. Now you're just talking to yourself. It's just you and your folks, by yourself. We have to branch out and do away with those type of dysfunction. And the paranoia. Everybody's out to get you. That's a fact. Everyone's out to get you, right? So when we sit there and we deal with that paranoia, that no one is to be trusted, everyone's out to get me, then yeah, it makes it hard for you to even accept any type of help, But dealing with what you have to deal with yourself first, acknowledging that, hey, I got a problem. Acknowledging that, do you want this problem to be solved? Do you want to get out this situation that you're in? And is it doable? Can it happen? So those who are suffering in silence and going through something, name of the game is to acknowledge it and reach out. There is help out there. There is help. There are plenty of people out here. This world is so vast, so big. There are so many people out here that are actually going through the same thing that you're going through. It's just that they hide it better than you. You may think, oh man, well, they got money, so the money should make up for what I'm going through and what they're going through. They cannot be going through the same thing because they have money. No, we're all human. They say some of the richest people have the biggest problems. They have the same amount of problems that you have, especially when you are dealing with someone that is looking at their self-worth. No amount of money is going to make them feel better about themselves. Some people, yes, because their self-worth is already up here, so they don't really care. The money is just going to enhance their fun, but it's not going to affect them. Some people with money or without money still have high self-esteem. The money is not going to make them or break them. So, in that sense, figure out what is exactly going on with yourself, then say, okay, I want to deal with this problem. I want to tell somebody. Now you just got to find somebody that is going to be willing to sit down and listen to what you have to say or care about you enough. So now here's the process of elimination and weeding out them folks. Because again, you have some folks that's going to look at you when you bring it out and say, hey, man, I got this issue, I got something going on, and they may laugh at you. You got to know your circles. You got to know who you talking to. Those may not be the ones that you want to actually go to. Find someone that's level headed and you say, you know what, man, I've been dealing with XYZ for a minute. Something about just my thoughts, it's just been kind of messing with me. And I just need to talk to somebody about it because I want to make sure I'm not going crazy. I want to make sure that, I'm good, I'm not going crazy and that is believable because most times folks will tell you, nah, really? They act like they don't believe you when you say, hey, this is what I'm going through. So self-esteem is really a big one too. If you have some issues with yourself, that's very hard to talk to other people about because it's something dealing with your self-esteem, your worth. And if you wear your heart on your sleeve and you are worried about what other people are saying, that you don't want to put it out there because you don't want to get ridiculed. You don't want people to talk about you. So you want to keep it on the low. That's a hard one. But now you got to find something within you that's going to be like, okay, I have to have a purpose behind this. Find a purpose and why you are either revealing something, working on something that you're going through. Find a purpose because a lot of times if you plan and it falls through, we don't fail the plan. We don't plan to fail. We fail to plan properly is what I'm trying to say. So our plan and our purpose has to be aligned in us getting better, us letting, putting all our cards out on the table and saying, boom, this is it. So if you battling with something like alcoholism, right? You're like, damn, I can't go nowhere without 5, 10 drinks because, that's how it is. I can't go nowhere, but hell, that's messing my life up. I can't be productive the next day when I get lit the night before. I can't. And every time something goes on, this is going to help. Let me grab the bottle. Let me drink that. And then it's just going to be, I'm not going to deal with that problem right now. I'm just going to drink it away. But after a while, you keep drinking it away, a lot of other things in your body are going to be going away, So we have to kind of reach out and really get to the bottom of it. Now, your purpose is always going to be something that's going to keep you going. Because when people say, oh, I'm just going to stop doing this, I'm going to stop doing that, I'm going to address it. But without a purpose, you ain't never going to get there. You're never going to get there unless you say, okay, here's my end goal, here's my purpose. Maybe it's your children. I want to be around for my kids. Maybe it's your family. I want to be around for my sister, my brother, my mom, my dad. I want to make sure that I'm around. Whether it's a goal that you have in mind, whether it's a weight loss goal, something, put a purpose behind you getting out of that silence. Put a purpose on you wanting to get away from that. Man, I'm tired of waking up feeling like I want to kill myself. I'm tired of it. So for the next 30 days, what do I want to wake up to? I want to wake up to life. I want to wake up and say, oh, I'm about to go do this today. And here's my purpose. My purpose is leading me to getting that done every day. If I have to smile, I have to laugh, I have to tell someone I love them, put yourself to the task of doing that, saying, oh, I'm going to break this. I'm getting up out of this, because sad to say, in most cases, the only person that can get you out of it is you. but are you worth that much to get yourself up out of that situation? You got to always say, yes, I am worth that much. Fight against that feeling that you may have in your head that you're like, man, I ain't worth shit. I ain't worth it. Fight against that. You got to understand that you are worth it. You can't let nobody else in this world tell you that you're not. What they say, the study says that you were one out of millions of sperm. Think about that. That's just like me running a 5K the other day, right? I think they had like over like 6,000 people out there, right? Probably about 10. We're all running. And if I would have started at the back and beat 6,000 of them folks to the finish line, that's how you are. That's how we all are in the grand scheme of things when we talk about life and being created. We outran millions, millions to get there. So if that don't do something for you, I don't know. It's like, dude, you had it. You number one. You know, you the cream of the crop. You made it here. So always big up yourself and tell yourself, man, I'm like that. You know, I am important because I am this particular person. You know, you ain't got to be famous. You famous in your own right because you made it, you know, out of a group of million. You made it here. Now it's time for you to show the rest of the world just how great you are. Dig on in on that self-worth. If nobody else is telling you that you're great, nobody else is telling you that you're smart, nobody else is saying that you're handsome, you're beautiful, you know, that you're successful. Tell yourself that, and I'm telling you that right now. You're handsome, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're successful, because again, I don't care where you are right now in your life, you made it here. That's for one. That's a success right now, is that you have made it here. Now, where you go from the rest of your life, that's on you. But you can reach out and talk to folks and say, hey, man, I need some help out of this dark place that I'm in, you know. And don't feel that everyone in the world is just ignoring you, you know, because you can feel that way. I felt that way. My mom passed, my brother passed. My brother was 41, man, young, 41. He passed. And I thought I was the only one going through it. I'm like, man. And I just felt so messed up. Like, can't nobody help me? You know, can't nobody help me? They don't understand. Like, it's just crazy. But I had to remember, what's my purpose? What's my purpose here? Am I going to wallow in and drink myself, smoke myself to death, you know, not eat, be depressed, be mad for the rest of my life? No, I have to bring a bigger purpose to my life. That because of them, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing right now, you know. So the best way that I can show that I appreciate them and I appreciate life is to do things, and my purpose of doing these things is because of them, you know. So here's my plan, here's my purpose, is because of them. I am not going to be sad. I'm not going to make no excuse. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to think highly of myself, and I'm going to keep going because everyone has experienced loss. We all in the same boat. We all in the same boat. And for those who have lost their mother recently, lost their fathers, lost their brothers and sisters, my heart goes out to you. I know how you feel. So now what we have to do is repurpose the hurt. We all are suffering in some way, suffering in silence, you know, suffering from depression. But now repurpose that, because remember when the good times were, right? Remember when they were smiling. Remember when they was laughing. Think about if you sitting around right now feeling some type of way, just lost. What do you think they would say if they were right here, right now, by you just trying to go down this road of depression, feeling like you're alone, feeling like nobody understands when the whole rest of the world definitely understands what you're going through? What would they say? They'd probably tell your ass, get up. Don't sit there and mourn for me. Don't sit there and make excuses of why you can't be great. Be great because of me. Do something in my honor to keep my life going, right? You know, some of us may be still in the baby, rearing or having age, right? So have another kid. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying. But do something that is in remembrance of them. Get yourself up out of the phone. You know, for those who are going through something, right now, is always a brighter day. There's always, you're going to have some bad days, you're going to have some good days. Take the good, the bad, you know. But when you have those good days, man, you know, they're great. Those good days are great. So we have to make it a purpose, we have to make it a purposeful life and redirect what we would take for being hurt and things that we're going through and say, man, I'm gonna get up out of this. Even if the whole world is counting against you. We got some folks that in some situations, somebody is looking at you, the whole crowd is pointing at you and saying, you can't do it. Now you always gonna be where you at right now. You can't do it. They always gonna do that, right? They're gonna look at you and they're probably looking at you right now and telling you, you can't do it. I'm gonna tell you like this, make them believers, but believe in yourself first, that's the key. Know your self-worth, know that you are better than what you may feel about yourself at this point and what other people may feel about at this point. Now, you got some folks now that really need to be talked off the ledge. You're going through a dark time right now, a real dark time. And you need to be talked off the ledge. Come on back. It's not worth it. You got so much to give to this world, so much to do in this world right now. You may feel, oh, it's a little, it ain't. No, I'm telling you, your voice, for one, because you can voice what you're going through. I have a company, and for those who don't know, I run a publishing company. And my motto is that we will work for you. And my other saying is that we all have a story to tell. Why not write your story? So I've helped so many different people over the years publish their work, or even if I have not directly helped them publish, I have just given them that spark and they have gone off and is music to my ears when someone says, hey, you know what? I saw you doing what you was doing, so I went ahead and I just published my book. I just went ahead and did this, did that. And I'm like, wow, that is tight. For me to be able to do what I'm doing and to inspire other folks to do something, I'm like, man, it's all a win. I don't care if I work with you or not, as long as you're inspired. If you say, man, I like what you said, I'm about to go, then I've done my job, But I believe that we all have a story to tell. Why not write your story? So that's my slogan. That's my trademark. Hashtag write your story. We all have a story to tell. And the one thing about writing your story is to get out of your head. Get all that noise out of your head. Don't worry about what anybody else is going to say. Forget them. Remember, is your story, is your life, is what you are going to put in those pages. And writing becomes a point of therapy because you're getting it out. If you ever been to a therapist, they always say, it's good for you to release it when you go to the therapist. Do something to be constructive to get your mind off of it. I always say that the point of writing for me and for, other folks is to inspire someone else. You may have been going through something, right? And you finally get out of what you're going through. Like I said, maybe it's a drinking problem. Maybe it's an anger issue. Maybe you had to do 18 months of anger management. But you got through it, right? You got through it. And there's other people out there in the world that are suffering from it, right? They're going through that issue. Now, you always got to understand, the more that we are not alike, the more that we are alike, you know? So if you are suffering and you're going through something, you say, man, I want to get through it, and I'm going to write it down. And then you got through it. Now that is inspiration for you and inspiration for other people. I would say this is a teachable moment. You can take your life, you can take what you have gone through, put it in a book. Someone else reads it, and they have an aha moment because they've been fighting with the same thing that you've been fighting with, but they could never get through it. Then they see that aha moment like, oh man, this is what you did. This is what you went through. And that aha moment comes when, bam, the light switch goes off, the light bulb goes off in their head. And it's like, man, I've been searching for this all my life. This person just said and just told me how to actually get through it. And it gave me inspirations because they went through it and I'm going through it. And now they just told me how they got through it, through their story. So you got to understand your story is powerful. Don't suffer in silence. Do something. Do something to get yourself out of it. Reach out to other folks who may be going through it and understand 9 times out of 10, there's more folks than you know that are going through it, you know. So you reach out. So you tell your story. You go to therapy. You get through it. And then you are on the up and up. Now you reach back and you say, you know what? This is my story. Ain't no shame in your story at all. So that's the other thing when people have to kind of get over and get through. There's no shame in your story because believe me, there's nobody out here that's perfect. Nobody is perfect. And again, your story is going to help someone else out. You know, you've gone through it. They're going through it. It'll help them out. And that's where the inspiration comes in. That's where people are inspired because they see someone else and they're like, man, they got through it. Wow. How? They want to know how you got through it. It's okay to go through something. We all are going through something. Best believe that. It's okay to go through it. It's okay to put it out there. But you have to have that end goal and that support. Now, you may not get the support from, you know, the usual suspects, you know, people that are around you, but hell, the social media, reach out to somebody. Hey, I'm going to put my number on the doggone screen. You can find my number. It's in my social media. You can call me. You need a laugh one day. You need to talk. You need to let it out. No judgment zone. I'm here to help. I'm going to be like, look, all right, cool. This is what we're going to work on. Here's the homework. Let's go. You know, because if you're on here, I consider you all my family. If you're watching it, you share this, you are all my family. So being that you are my family, I want to see you succeed. I want to see you win. I want to see you get up out of whatever it is that you're going through. Get that up out of you. Get that up off of you and win. You know, we all can win, you know, but we have to attack those demons that we are battling with. And we got to understand that it's not just woe is me. It's not just you. I'm telling you, it's not just you. And again, a lot of folks put up a good front, you know. So a lot of times social media can be smoke and mirrors, for real. Don't look at it and be like, oh man, they doing it big. They doing this, they doing that. 9 times out of 10, them folks are doing this, nothing. You know, they're faking it. So don't let that impose on you and impose on your walk, because your walk is very important, but do not allow what other people are doing to, you know, make you feel worse or make you feel down or put you down. You know, I always say, if you are alive and breathing right now at this moment, you are winning. I don't care if you got 10 cents in your pocket or $10,000 in your pocket. You are winning. And for today, and then going on to tomorrow. And if you wake up tomorrow, you have another day to do something right. to do something better, you know. And again, take the shame out of it. Nobody is here. No one is greater than the next person. You know, we all got dirt. We all have something that we are not proud of. But now today is the day that you start working on that. And you start to, sometimes you got to change your circle too. You got to change who you talking to. Because again, remember I said, if you talk to someone and you like, okay, I got to let y'all know I'm going through X, Y, Z. And if you know those are the type of people that don't take you seriously, those are not the folks you want to talk to. You may have to find somebody else to talk to because they are not supporting you in your time of need. They're not supporting you in your time of silence, that you're breaking the silence and you're coming clean because there's some things in your life that you just really want to get that fucking monkey off your back. You want to get it off your back. You want to do something else with your life. You want to be able to have a smoother transition into a life of peace, but something just still on you. And like I said before, oh, I'm just going to drink it away. And then I ain't got no problem. But then now you got to look at it. You do have a problem. How are we going to get out of that? You know, and how are we going to survive that? You know, we have to reach out to folks. We have to move on. Some folks don't even have the support of their own family, you know, and that's true. A lot of folks don't have support of their own family. I got like, I think I have like, I've lost count, but it's in the threes. A lot of folks that I've helped as far as promoting their work, putting their work out, publishing their work, my own personal work, and a lot of my side work that I've done or like Ghost wrote. I think we're in like the 20 different books that I've added some words to or whatever. In my personal books, I think I'm sitting at 4 personal, working on another 6 books for this year, my personal books. But if I tripped and if I got upset and I worried about, damn, my family don't have my collection of books. They know what I'm doing. But if I took that personally and said, man, then I wouldn't be who I am today if I let that bring me down and put me in a spot where I felt kind of messed up and I didn't want to keep going, you know? So we have to be our own cheerleaders in this, right? We have to start somewhere. We have to understand that the way that we get out of it, just like somebody with an addiction, they always say, man, they got help. But if they're not willing to get up and get out of that situation, they're going to always be an addict. But they still got to get somebody to drop something in their ear, that seed that tells them, hey, it's okay. Because a lot of times folks stay in that because of the shame. They don't feel like anyone's rooting for them. They don't feel like somebody is behind them and saying, yeah, I just can't wait till you do good. I can't wait till you get out and do something better for yourself. They don't have that, you know, folks sitting there and cheering them on and saying, yeah, I'm rooting for you. Now you got more people standing on the sidelines just waiting for them to fall so they can be like, yeah, I told you so. But if you think about that, if you think about the folks that don't support you, you start thinking about the folks that are hating on you, you thinking about that more than you thinking about you getting yourself together, you will always suffer. You will always be low. So now you're going to have to start cutting all of that stuff off. Now you're going to have to start looking at yourself as, yeah, I can do it, you know, because remember, you got so many other people out here that are examples ahead of you that have done it. So when you say to yourself, man, I give up, I can't do it, you have to understand there's so many people out here that have done it. And they're no different than you. No different than you. They're actually the same. They've gone through the same things that you have gone through. But it was a time that they said to themselves, okay, enough's enough. I need to reach out. I need to find someone to help me. You know, humbling yourself sometimes is huge. saying to yourself that I need to kind of knock this chip off my shoulder. I don't know everything. I'm not that strong, and I'm suffering. I need some help. That's a hard thing to do, to tell some folks you need some help, and to tell yourself and to look in the mirror and say, you tripping. You need help. Stop playing around because you really need help. And remember, I said, set that purpose, put that purpose out there, put a plan together and the purpose. And then sometimes we need accountability folks, right? We need somebody to keep us accountable. We need somebody to check up on us and be like, hey, you doing good today? All right. Just checking on you. All right. Keep it going. We need that boost. We need someone to help us out there. Again, what about the folks that don't have that? You have to start thinking and saying, there's a lot of folks out here that are going through something. Make it a point that you just say, hey, how you doing? I'm just checking on you. I want to know that you're okay. That's it. Simple. Just checking on you. Hey, and if you need anything and you need to talk, holler at me. We can sit down and we can talk about anything. We need to get that up off of your chest. We need to get that off of your head, because if it's still in your mind, if it's still something that's stressing you out, it can take you out. And we don't want you to be taken out of here prematurely. So tell folks you love them off the break. And gotta be nothing, no sexual innuendo or nothing like that, nothing laced behind it. It's just a pure fact that some folks have never had love in their life. They've never heard someone say, I love you. And to love someone is to say, I care about you. I care about your well-being, and I think highly of you. I think that you the bomb. You good. You fine by me. So to spread that love and to tell somebody, yeah, I believe in you. Just that alone, that's love. I believe in you. Whatever it is that you want to do, man, I want to fly a kite in the middle of a tornado. Man, got you. I believe in you. It'll happen. I don't know, but it'll happen. Give them that undying support. Find somebody. Talk to them, give them that support, because you just never know what you just said was right in that minute, in that time of you saying something good to somebody. They was probably thinking about taking themselves out at that moment. It was probably thinking that I'm not worth nothing. I ain't worth nothing, man. I ain't got nothing to live for. And at that moment, when you spread that love and you just say, what's up? How you doing? You're doing good today. You're going to do good today. You got it. Have a great day. It may sound like, oh man, that's just something small. It's small to you sometimes when you put it out there. It's huge to someone that's battling in silence and dealing with something that can take them out. That is huge. When you tell them, and here's the other thing. Most people go through their life and it's the blame game. They feel that they are responsible for something. They're never being let off the hook. They don't let themselves off the hook. They feel solely responsible for it. My mom used to tell me, are you going to live your life that way? Are you going to allow for something that happened a while ago to be stuck to you for the rest of your life? Nah, you can't do that. You got to take that up off of you. But you have a lot of folks that go through life and still are blaming themselves for something that happened 5 years ago, 10 years ago, last week. They still blaming themselves. They still hold that, is on their back. The monkey is on their back, and they have not atoned for it because they don't feel like I'm even worth atoning for it. I'm in this. This is me. This is part of me. I'm holding this, and I'm gonna hold it until the day I die. Tell folks, I don't care what it is, tell them you are forgiven. Whatever it is that you did, you're forgiven. And keep it pushing. You know, sometimes we got to change the narrative. You know, we have to change the narrative in so many different ways for folks. Because if they don't hear that, they may not have heard that. Just like my mom never heard her mom say, I love you, you know, ever in her life. Change the narrative for a lot of folks just by words. They say words can do what? Heal or kill, right? Just a simple word. You ain't touched nobody. You ain't done nothing to them. But the words that have come out can either heal you or kill you. Somebody might be right there, right on the line. They could go left, they could go right. They just on the line, man. They ready to snap. But you done just threw a blessing out there for them. They deep in darkness. You done brought some light to them. You're forgiven. Don't worry about what happened. You're good. Now, do something better for your life. Do something that's going to affect and change someone else's life for the better. Have a purpose in your life. Get over whatever that you are going through. Try to kick that habit if you can't. Seek help. It's not a bad word. Help is not a bad word. Going to see somebody is not a damn bad word. It's not. Because, again, there's nobody on this earth that's perfect. And there's nobody that does not need help with something. You know, we always feel that, oh, they got money, they can do this, they can do that. Oh, they look a certain way. Oh, they look good, so they ain't got to worry about that. Oh, that dude, you know, he built, so he ain't got to worry about that. You know, but inside, what they're suffering with, what they are going through, what they are battling is something that you can't read from the outside. You know, you may think that this person got it all. You going home to your house and you mad and you all upset. They going to a hotel because they don't have a house. But you are misjudging the situation, thinking like, damn, they got it all. And you mad about what you got. So you suffer in silence in so many different ways, whether it's hate, whether it's depression, whether it's feeling inferior, whether it's feeling like you ain't got enough. Sometimes we got to have a pep talk with ourselves and tell ourselves, cut the BS. You got what God has given you right now, and you need to deal with what you have right now. You need to deal with what you have right now and be happy with what you have right now, you know? Because there's a lot of folks that don't have half of the stuff that you have. Yeah, you might be going through something right now. Right. Definitely. You are going through something right now. But there are a lot of folks out here just waiting, got their hands up like, dude, you need help? Come holler at me. But you just still in denial and in depression. Man, don't nobody know. Don't nobody care. But you got folks standing out there looking like, hey, I'm here to help. What's up? But you like let them pass you by. Nah, y'all can't help me. I'm the only one going through it. But you got folks out there that can help you. You know, definitely got folks out there. But when I spin that narrative and I look at the whole picture, we all got something that we dealing with. You know, whether, like I said, it's a dysfunction, it's depression, it's something that we dealing with. Now, are we going to be brave enough, you know, to come up out of it? Thank you, Janice. And be able to talk about it. You know, can we talk about it? And then when we are brave enough to talk about it, who are we going to talk to about it? You know, are we going to pick them dudes that's going to sit there and they're going to joan on you and laugh on you because you are saying something that is, you know, expressing your vulnerability, saying that, man, I ain't Superman. I can't do it all. So I am suffering from this, you know. I'm suffering from this. So I need some help, you know. somehow, some way. And because we don't really have the physical God here sitting next to you and saying, my son, my daughter, I got you. We don't have that right now. We have his people. We have folks that are to the left and the right of us, front and back of us. We got folks. We got family. We got folks that we call family and friends. We got strangers. We have so many different things that's going on. I would say for folks that are dealing with self-esteem issues, right? Dealing with issues where you just feel, and I think a lot of times those self-esteem issues come from, I'm the only one dealing with it. Nobody understands. That's where it comes from. That's where it starts. I would say, do your best to be brave enough to talk to someone that may have a common issue. Nowadays, I think nowadays is way better than it was years ago before we had the internet and all of that. I think it's a whole lot better. So what you can do, and I know a lot of people are worried about, oh, if such and such find out, oh, they're gonna clown me. If such and such find out, I don't want nobody to see that I'm weak. I don't want nobody to see that I'm going through something. They got so many groups out there. You go on your phone and you type in whatever that you're going through. There's a group for it. There's a lot of folks out there that can be a support group, and you ain't gonna look like you a nut and look like you crazy. You just want to get this thing up off of you. And there are people out there that can support you in a way that will help you out. Because remember, you don't have all the answers. That's why you're going through what you're going through. We don't have all the answers. So that's why we sitting here in a depressed state, sitting here in a challenging state of mind, in a challenging state of affairs, is because we don't have all the answers. We want to move from this step to the next step, right? But we don't know how to get there. We want to have a better quality of life, but we don't know how to get there. Remember, smartphones, internet, you got folks out there all day long that's just sitting there waiting just to interact with someone else and to talk to them and kind of give them their 2 cents and help them out. So whatever it is that you're going through, never get so deep in the hole that you feel that you got to off yourself. Never feel like, oh man, the world don't understand. The world do understand. It do. A lot of folks do understand. So now you need to, for yourself, reach out, reach out, because you're not the only one going through it. I understand that it's personal because it is that you are going through it, but there is help. There's help. There's no shame in it. No shame at all, because you may be looking at me and like, oh man, he ain't got no problems. True. I got a boatload of problems, man. Some people are better at hiding what they're going through, right? I've been in depression for the last 5.5 years. Depressed like a mug, heavy depression. How I get through it is, and how I've been getting through it is that if I take myself out, if I get to the point where I just start shutting down and not dealing with this depression, then who's going to suffer? My kids going to suffer. My family going to suffer. My customers, my clients, they're going to suffer. The school system that I deal with every year with giving back to the community, they're going to suffer. They're going to be looking for me next year like, where'd he go? So many people are going to suffer if I take myself out because I'm depressed about what I've lost and what I feel that I can't do. I'm going to hurt so many people. I'm going to hurt myself. I'm going to hurt my kids. So then I have to put my purpose out there. Why am I here? What is the reason that I'm here? I'm here for them. I'm here to make sure that they have a better life. I'm here to make sure that I push the narrative to show that, hey, it is okay to go out and to ask for help. It is okay to go within yourself and tell yourself, I've had enough. I've had enough and I'm about to do something about it in the right way. I'm not going to say I had enough and I'm about to just off myself. No, I had enough and I want to get better. So how am I going to get better? I start to formulate a plan, put the plan together and say, this is how I'm going to get better. And then I just stuck with it. You know, I stuck with it. You know, unfortunately, we can't bring back folks that we have lost. We want to. We want to so bad. We can't make up for time that was lost. We can't. I know parts of the depression started where it was like, damn, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Damn, I wish I could, but I didn't. So what I have to do is, for the ones that are still here, do what I should have done then, because life don't give you that convenience, you know. It don't give you that convenience where you think you're gonna do everything possible for the one that you love and be there for them 24/7. Life don't give you that convenience, you know. Death comes and they're gone, and you can't do nothing about it. You wanted to do so many different things for them and with them, and they're no longer here. So, excuse me. Now you have to figure out how you're going to live the rest of your life. You know, how are you going to live the rest of your life and live the rest of your life sane? Everyone will go through something like that. And you don't look crazy. You don't look like you done nutted up if you say, man, I thought about taking myself out. A lot of people can relate. I didn't even want to be here. A lot of people can relate. They can relate to that. So where do we go from there? After we can have that conversation, where we go from there is to let our folks know, you ain't crazy. I understand you, but you don't need to go that route. You don't need to be depressed. Well, what do you mean? That means if I ain't the president, I don't care. That's not showing that you don't care because you are no longer mourning. It's the opposite. Because you are no longer mourning, now you are actually giving light to their life. Now you have now repurposed that hurt into something that when somebody see you, they like, man. And then the question would be, well, who the hell is that? Well, who the hell I am is them. For the ones that I lost, if you don't know them, if you never knew them, now you're going to know them through me. You're going to wish that you had the time to sit and to talk to these people or even get to know these people by how I'm going to carry it for the rest of my life. That because they're lost in the physical, but I'm still physically here. You're going to know how great my folks were by just knowing me, because I'm going to carry that torch. And it's not going to be a torch of, oh man, I'm just sad and upset. Nah, it's not going to be that. It's going to be like, because of them, that's why I'm here. And I'm about to smile every day. And y'all going to see. And I'm going to remember the good times. I'm going to remember how I got in this situation, how I was born. Remember I said you were one out of millions. So you are already a celebrity to begin with. You was born to be number one because you made it first, right? You was the one that came out over millions of sperm, right? So I'm going to repurpose that hurt. Whether you're going to see me, you're not going to see me no more just like down and out. Like, damn, I wish. Nah, you're not going to see me like that. You're going to see me repurpose that hurt and turn it into something good. So when you see me smiling, it's because of them. You know, when you see me doing great things and greater things, it's because of them. I'm going to pull myself up out of it. And then for those who can't pull themselves about it, always know there's somebody in the world that has gone through the same thing that you have gone through. Now is on us to reach out because we don't want to be in that situation. Nobody wants to suffer in silence. Nobody wants to keep every day going through that agony. They don't want to do it. They just don't know how to get the help. And the help that they thought was going to be their help sometimes is not even their help, because they have no idea what you were really going through. So they can't really help you in what you're going through sometimes. But for those that can, reach out to them, but have that determination in yourself that you want to get up out of there. Like attracts like, right? So if in your mind you start out with a thought, this is what I want to do, the rest of it is going to be handled once you make it up in your mind. This is what you want to do. Just like I said, an addict will only kick the habit if they themselves truly want to do it and they have a purpose of doing it. And they look at their purpose and their goal and they go for it. That's the only way that they break that, is that they say, okay, my kids are more important than this shit. Excuse my language. So I'm going to kick that and I'm going to be around for my kids. So that's what matters. So it's possible. It's definitely possible. So we have to be, for one, those type of people that check on our friends. We got to check on them, man. We got to call them up. We got to check on them, because again, they're going through something that just that one word that they could save them and pull them off the ledge. We just don't know. Have those conversations. Have those serious conversations and say, look, I need you, and you to be here next week. I need you to be here tomorrow. I need you to be here for the next 20 years. But you got to let me know what's going on so we can work through it. If you have something that you are just down and out about, somebody else may have been going through that situation. I'm like, hold on. Hey, come talk to him, because he's going through the same thing you just went through and you just got out of. Hey, talk to her because she just went through the same exact thing. So when you can share those type of stories and say, yeah, I got the same type of shared experience, man. I can help you through it. But let's be proactive in it, And those things that we're suffering with, we have to face it. We got to face it head on. When we face it, we always are at the point where we're lost. Like, I don't know how can I do it? I don't know how to do it. When you face it, you give yourself that question. Do you want to live? Do you want to get through this? And that's just the beginning. If it's a yes, I want to live and I want to get through it, then start taking the baby steps to get through it. Everything that deals with your self-esteem, with your disposition and your want for peace has to be built around a peaceful situation. It has to be built around some love, So if you find yourself where you looking around and it's just drama, it's just hate, it's just all of this negativity around you, you may not get up and out of your situation if you don't exit stage right, as my mom would say, and get out of that situation. Try to avoid that situation. Give it some space, because you're trying to work on you and you can't work on you in a negative situation. You can't. You got to find a positive vibe. You got to find somewhere that's away from all of that. And again, reach out to folks. And like I said before, the internet is crazy. It's crazy in a good way. Whatever it is that you're going through, you can probably Google it. There's a lot of support groups out there, a lot of folks that you can talk to that may not be in your immediate circle, because your immediate circle sometimes it's just got that thing about us like, nah, we can deal with it, we strong. But even the strong ones are the ones that are actually going through hell. They're going through hell and they feel that dysfunction is fine. I'm just gonna go through it. Nah, they ain't fine. Find some help. There's help out there. Find some help and get it dealt with. But yeah, use your smartphone. You can find local groups, folks that don't even probably look like you. That's a good thing. Folks that don't even look like you can probably give you a different perspective on things of how to think outside the box. You know, always look at someone that has successfully gotten over something and say, man, I could learn from them. How the hell did they get to that point? Always look at it as it's a teachable moment and be open about it. You know, be open to learn new things and be open to yourself and say, man, I don't want to deal with this mess no more. Now I need to go get some help. Now I need to voice, something, talk to somebody, get it up off of me, because suffering in silence doesn't work at all. It doesn't help you, doesn't help the next person. You have to open your mouth. You have to say something, and you have to understand that we all are human. So we all gonna go through something. It is fine. Tell somebody I'm crazy as shit, and they look at me and they like, yeah, I'm crazy too. How did you deal with that? Oh, this is how I dealt with it. Oh, good. Okay. So, and then they taking notes. Thank you, because you just saved me. I can't get another ticket. I can't get locked up again because I'm crazy, Just make a light of it. But, there is a way that we can help each other and help ourselves at the same time, is to try to take back our peace and not suffer in silence with what we're going through. And you can be the one that can help someone else out, because they're going through something, and what you need to do is just spread positivity and always tell them, hey, you have an out. You can talk, whatever you're going through, holla at me. I'm cool. We can talk, let them know that there's no judgment, and your thing is you want to see them tomorrow. You want to see them next week. You want to see them for the next 20 years doing good. So whatever it is that they're going through, and you can help them get it up off of. And if not, it takes a village. So a lot of people may need to come on in and help them with what they're going through. You may need to help yourself with what you're going through by going through therapy, talking to somebody, putting together a plan and a purpose for your life and saying, okay, this is where I'm going. And how do I get there? I have to say, this is my driving force right here. Here's my purpose of getting out of depression. Here's my purpose of kicking a habit. Here's my purpose of living life. A lot of us are living, but we ain't living life. We living, but what type of quality of life do we have? Not good. So we have to venture out to live life and to be around folks that are living life, that are full of life, Go out there, experience something new, do something different in your life. We are all closed up in this little bubble in this box and thinking that, oh, we can't go over here, we can't go over there. Nah, the world is huge. It's a big world. So what we need to do is that we need to branch out, change, how we do things in order to kind of do some self-therapy and get our own selves together, and those things that we are dealing with. Sometimes we prayed on it for like ages, man. We keep praying on it, and it's still no resolution. So that means you need to reach out to some folks. Reach out to some folks around you, or if they're not around you, go find some folks. Like I said, pull out your cell phone. Look at your cell phone. Dial that right on in on your cell phone, exactly what I am going through, or if I'm feeling depressed, if I have a situation where I may feel down about myself or my situation. Look it up. The answers are out there. You just got to be willing to do that. And then again, lastly, is always having a purpose of why you're going to do what you're going to do. How are you going to voice your, use your voice, get out of suffering in silence, and how will you move on after that? And how will you affect someone else's life by just saying, you can do it.